Hello everyone and welcome to today's Take 5 Solid Rock Daily Devotional. Because we live in a broken world, our idea or perception of love is probably tainted by what we see around us, what we hear, or what we have experienced ourselves. Now, the world's definition of love, especially nowadays, is often filled with selfish motives and often involves instant gratification, doesn't take into account the importance of long-term commitments, etc. And it is a view of love that is so far from God's definition of love. Now we read in Ephesians 5:25 to 27, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church, without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. God is love. He didn't just demonstrate, didn't just say it. He didn't just mention it in the Bible, but he demonstrated it. Look at the cross and look at Jesus dying on the cross. That was such a cruel and horrible death. But Jesus knew how he would die, and he still went through it out of love for us. And now the scripture we just read, I just want to highlight 3 points from that scripture. Christ loved the church, like we just said, and he gave himself for it. He suffered a cruel death. That in itself is a proof of his love for the church. The second point is Christ did that for a church that he knew wouldn't be perfect. He died for the church, no matter how ugly or beautiful it would be, no matter how weak or strong it would be, no matter how unfaithful or faithful it would be. Christ chose to do so in spite of the state of the church. Again, that shows the kind of love we're talking about. And the third point is, not only did he give his life for the church out of love, but that love also changes the church. Christ loves the church too much to leave it in its current state, like we read in the scripture. Now, he washes the church with water through the word, and he's cleansing the church to present her without stain or wrinkle or blemish, but holy and blameless. Now, isn't that a beautiful love? And the good news is, you are the church. I am the church. This scripture is about us. It's not about the building. No, it's about us who make up the church. Christ loves us unconditionally. You might be today in a situation where shame or guilt or any other thing are stopping you from accepting the love of Christ for you. It is time to change that. By faith, receive the love of Christ for you, because Christ loves you. It doesn't matter how good or bad, ugly, beautiful, poor, rich, it doesn't matter. Christ loves you, and he chose to do so 2,000 years ago when he demonstrated it on the cross. So receive Christ's love for you. Believe in it. And from there on, the change you want to see happening in your life will happen because of his love for you. He will change you. He will transform you. And I hope that really encouraged you today. Now, you might be watching this devotional today and you're not even born again. And you feel that what I'm talking about is not for you. Like, how can Christ love me? I mean, look at me. Look at what I'm doing. Look at what I've done. You know, look at what I'm thinking. And the good news is Christ loves you too. He loves you. But your part is to receive that love. Your part is to accept that love.